Hello. Hi, everyone. How you guys doing? Good? Okay, welcome to this webinar today. Thank you for joining in. Hello, is my voice loud and clear? Okay, all right. So, okay, a lot of people say new haircut. Yes, yeah, finally we allowed to actually go to salon and get a haircut. Okay, all right. So since it's good, since the sound is loud and clear, so we can start immediately. Oh, the image is blurry, is it? Okay, let me see what I can do. So better now? Yeah, I saw some of your you commented the image is blurry, right? So I think now it's better now. Yeah, I just adjust the setting. So okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your compliment. Hi, wow. So many of you here joining in today. Okay, good. So let me share about what we're going to talk about today. These are I think all of us here actually go through for the last 3 months, especially we are going through a unprecedented time here, where that is very new to a lot of people, right? So because throughout our lifetime, yeah, we might not we actually haven't experienced this kind of pandemic before in that scale. I think the earlier one would be the swine flu. That one is back to 1920s. If I remember correctly, So then, and so therefore, this is something very new to a lot of people, including us. So a lot of people asking, yeah, how do we deal with this kind of situation here, right? Because but one thing we already know from the start, yeah, this pandemic here, one thing we already know from the start is no matter what, how bad it is, or as we are going through winter right now, it's going to end eventually, right? Yeah, because life is a cycle, right? It's a cyclical nature, which means that everything will actually evolve to one another thing, right? So eventually, this so-called pandemic will be over. Yeah, so I think now we already see some of the shift, right? Things are changing now to evolve a lot. Now, even in our country right now, we are actually easing on the lockdown already, which in fact a lot of business are allowed to open, right? Although it's not fully, yeah, but by phases they're actually allowing all the business unit to actually open now, right? But some of the country, I believe that is still under lockdown, right? So throughout these 3 months here, right, a lot of people ask me, what do you do during these last 3 months? Are you watching Netflix at home? That's all, right? But actually, to the contrary side here, but this during the last 3 months is the busiest month ever, right? Even why? Yeah, because during this time is a lot of people, yeah, they actually want to actually get a one-on-one consult, yeah, a one-on-one consult. So since all of us here are stay at home, right? So I have due to our work nature, we can actually do this consult via online, right? So just like how I actually talking to all of you here right now. So we also we actually do a lot of online one-on-one consult, and therefore I discovered that a lot of people actually worried about the I would say that the current situation, and a lot of them actually they don't know what to do next, right? They're afraid, and then they always ask one very same question all the time. Yeah, one very same question. He always asks Iverson, yeah, when this will over, right? They'll ask this question. I ask them why, he say because whenever this thing is over, then hopefully then they think that thing will be fine again. Yeah, things will be back to it used to be. We're back to normal again. Yeah, but unfortunately, right, the things will not going to back to the old way again. So it's even if this pandemic is over, a shift already happening, right? Not only just on the on on the business side, not only on the commerce side, but also on the way we live our life. Don't you think so? Right? Because during this in our country here is almost like 3 months, right? During this lockdown here is like 60 to 90 days here is good enough or long enough to actually train a new behavior. Yeah, according to statistic here, you need 26 days to actually train a new habit or install a new habit, right? Think about if we stay at home for so long, right? Don't you think it actually cultivate subconsciously or subtly, we actually or unknowingly, we actually cultivate a new habit, right? So like for example, like during this lockdown, we cannot go to a cinema, right? All the cinema is closed, right? All the theater is closed. So which means that we have no choice. If we want to actually watch movie or series, we need to go through online streaming like Netflix, right? So it trains us a new behavior. Actually, we can get the same form of entertainment actually from the from online, right, at the comfort of our own home. Don't you think even the whole pandemic is over, right after this whole pandemic is over, everyone allowed to go out, don't you think it also affect our lifestyle a little bit? Somehow this pandemic tell every one of us here, we can actually live without the cinema. We still can enjoy life on, Yeah, last time we always think that we need to go to cinema to enjoy to see movie, right? Yeah, but after this pandemic, yeah, when we have the experience, yeah, in our home, we actually can find a lot of different source of entertainment like Netflix, online streaming at home without the need to go to cinema, right? Don't you think even after this whole pandemic is over, the cinema business will still be affected, right? Because because a new habit already formed, a new possibility already formed. Don't you think so? Right? So just like you look at all these business and all the companies here, they used to actually get all the employees to fly to other country to have a meeting, right? So but due to this pandemic, people cannot actually do that. So they have no choice but to do online meeting. Yet prior to the pandemic, yeah, a lot of people complain that online meeting nothing beats the personal touch. Online meeting you cannot get the job done. But over and over again, right? So over again, you see that this treatment proved to a lot of people actually you can be equally effective, if not more effective, when you do actually do an online meeting, right? You think about it. Even later on, the restrictions being take off, they already take out the restriction. Then even though you're allowed to fly again, don't you think, yeah, all the companies will still control or actually reduce the traveling budget, right? Because they see a new possibility, that actually a lot of things can get done, yeah, in via online meeting, can get done via remotely. Don't you think so? Right? So therefore, the new possibility is already happening, and you see that a lot of people, a lot of company will actually encourage all the employees to actually do online meeting instead of flying. Yeah, even though later on all of us here can fly again, right? So therefore, this is what I call the new normal, right? So these are because a lot of people think you will shift back to the old thing again. I don't think so, right? So therefore, the key here is how do we actually adjust ourselves. So what I'm trying to tell you here that yeah, all of us here, I think the first thing, yeah, we need to do to actually thrive in the new normal, yeah, is to accept the fact that the new direction already setting in, and then be willing to change, to adapt to the new norm. So anyone that resists the change, will get wiped away. So these are the one that all of us here need to actually understand. So if it's not, we keep hoping, and that day will never come, right? So then how do we do this here is because I talk to a lot of client, right? So they'll see, okay, can you check my party chart or not, to see whether I got luck or not. Think about this. During this pandemic happening right now, right? Everyone are also, if you're talking about luck, right? Don't you think that everyone also facing the same thing? Right? They cannot go out, doesn't matter what is your party chart is. That doesn't mean you have a good party chart, you're allowed to go out, right? The lockdown applies to everyone. Don't you think so? Right? So a lot of people think, the reason, yeah, they don't get something they want in life is because they have a bad party chart. Yeah, but think about this. Even you have the best party chart in the world, yeah, during lockdown, you still cannot go out. You still cannot do things, cannot, right? You still stuck at home. So the winner, yeah, emerge after this whole lockdown or this pandemic here is not about how good your party chart is. is how you use the time, during this pandemic at home. So let me ask you, what do you do at home during the lockdown? Yeah, please type on the chat box right now. And what do you do at home? I know some of you here are very hardworking. You learn something new, So what do you do at home? Yeah, I want to see during the lockdown. Yeah, please type in on the chat box. I want to see who you are. Okay, all right, upskilling, online study, very good. Yeah, all of you here actually, some of you are enroll Chinese metaphysics courses. All right, okay, cool. Right, so you do something, right? But do you know that a lot of people actually they don't do anything? Yeah, why? How come I know this? Because during the consult I actually ask them this question. When a lot of people always ask me, check my chart good or not, got luck. I tell them, no matter what luck you have right now is irrelevant. You still stuck at home, right? So instead of actually do nothing or blaming the luck, yeah, it's about doing something at home. Yeah, that is the key. So this 3 months, I think I repeat this a few times in our in all my workshop here. Is the key here is what do you do at home this time, right? Because this pandemic will going to end eventually, right? So what do you do? So I think that a lot of you here actually learning a lot of stuff, which is good, right? So the next thing here is, I also discovered that a lot of people or actually learn how to cook. Yeah, they learn how to cook at home, So therefore, I always tell my friends, a lot of chefs actually created during this pandemic. Accidental chef, yeah, I'm talking about, So yeah, this is the one part here, right? So suddenly you figure out a lot of new dishes to cook, and then this is creative. And I saw a lot of people post the food photos. There's one, and then I also discovered that a lot of people actually start to experiment doing live broadcasts as well. So they actually do a Facebook Live, and then they share the knowledge, right? So, and I discovered that there are two things happening. One is a new chef, and also there are a lot of new speaker being developed during this time, right? And then these are the same person last time they blame their parter chart, that they don't have the element of or the ability to speak. Yeah, that element they don't have. Therefore, they cannot do public speaking, right? But the same person during the lockdown actually, take out the phone or a laptop and then they actually do a Facebook Live talking to their friends or sharing things, right? So this also tell you something, right? So actually, parts doesn't say whether you can speak or not. Yeah, everyone can speak, right? There's a reason you're given the mouth, right? Right. So there's a reason, right? So it's for you to speak. Yeah. So, but a lot of people they make an excuse because they don't like to appear like a fool at stage. They just blame their chart. They say that my party chart say I cannot speak. There are no element in your party chart that tells you that you cannot speak. Yeah, that part is reinvented as an excuse, right? So, and that's why this pandemic actually proved to a lot of people that actually speaking is our birthright. All of us here, is we can speak, right? So it's about actually. I know a lot of people say if I don't have HO, I don't have EG, that I cannot speak. Who tell you that, right? You are the one invented it, right? So does it mean that if you don't have these two star, you cannot talk, right? It's like are you mute or something? No, right? So those people that makes you excuse up is therefore they feel better when they actually shy away from speaking, right? Let me tell you right now, you need to write this down. Every chart can speak, right? But the different chart tell you the style of the way they're speaking, all right? So it's a speaking style, right? So I'll say you must appreciate your something is a gift from God, right? Yeah, have you actually met someone that cannot speak? The moment they are born, yeah, that one is a pity one, right? Yet a lot of you here can, all of us here can speak, but complaining that your chart don't have, therefore you cannot speak. Yeah, what nonsense is that, right? So don't do that, right? Because the parter chart that you are actually given that time is the moment you're born is the chart is only tell you what are the weapons that you have, right? So there are some, so some of the weapon here is the ability to perform, right? So like just now someone say, if I have HO or EG, yes, your ability to perform. If you don't have it, that doesn't mean you cannot speak, it just means that maybe you need more time to develop it, right? That's it, right? You need more time. I think all of us here need to speak, right? You speak to your boss, right? Go interview, right? You cannot say that if what if you look for a job, right? An interviewer call you, say that can I meet you out for an interview? You need to present something to us, Then you tell your interviewer, I cannot do the interview. Can I request not to do the presentation because according to my chart here, I don't have the eating god or hurting officer, right? Will you do that? No, right? Yeah. So, but yet the same person will give excuse why they don't actually go to actually venture on some job that related to speaking. Okay, so I want you to actually know your chart doesn't restrict you to do something or not. I just tell you that which of the part that is more powerful you can do. Yeah. So therefore, all of us here have 5 type of speaking style because there are 5 structures, right? So some of you here are speak to inspire, some of you are speak to educate, some of you are speak to lead someone, so a different style, right? So for example, like if your resource structure, then the way you speak is to educate, you explain, right? So if you are well structured, then probably you speak to inspire someone, yeah, with purpose. So this only so it represents different style. So don't care whether you got hurting officer or whether you have or not, whether you have eating god or not, doesn't matter, right? So this is a thing that I want to share with everyone from the start, because all of us here have the tendency, to actually blame our chart, right? And I see some of a very great speaker, they don't even have a hurting officer and eating god, right? So it just means that, there's different style of speaking. Yeah, it doesn't interfere them to speak. Okay, so I think that during this lockdown here, yeah, we have no choice but we speak, and then after we actually do it for several times, we speak online or broadcast it online for several times, then we get the hang of it. Then suddenly, you fall in love with it, right? So that is the thing I want to share with you. So the Pater chart here, the metaphor I'm using here, let me share you the screen right now. Okay. Our Pater chart is something like this. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, all right. So this is some of you play games before, right? So you play games before, RPG role playing game. That you have a character that you actually control, and then this character actually you can actually collect items, or we call the inventory, right? So there's a sword we see on the screen here. There are sword, there are potion here, they are green color, and then a red color health potion, and then they have a shield, so different thing here. So why I show you this picture here, because this is something equivalent to our Pater chart. So the moment we are born, we are given certain tools. Yeah, some of you have more sword, in that case here. Some of you have more potions, some of you have more shield, so different, right? So these are the thing here. So let me ask you, if you have all these things here, is it mean that you're going to win the war or not? No, right? You just have a lot of items. So when you read your Pater chart only tells you what items that you have. Yeah, so whether you choose to use it or not, it depends on you, right? So these are examples. So all of us here have different items. So the success in life is not what item given to you, but it's rather than how you actually use those items, right? You can only choose one to use, or maybe you can combine it, to create a new weapon. Or some of you maybe even pick some of the new item along the way, right? Yeah, that's what we call the luck pillar, right? The luck pillar, you're going through, you have new items to play with, and then you enhance it, so that is the key thing here. So all of us here have different items in the chart. So we call this, whenever we share this information with people, we talking about what? We're talking about your talent, right? Remember, talk about your talent, your 10 profiles. So the 10 profiles here is all about the weapon, yeah, that you actually given to you from the start. So the question here is, do you know your weapon or not? Right. So the better you know, or the more clearer you know what weapon you are given, then during this pandemic or during the moment of stress, you actually have the skills, so you can actually survive the pandemic, right? So the key to survive the pandemic for a lot of people, I always tell people there are only two things: sustaining and continuity. As long as you can sustain whatever you're doing, yeah, I'm not asked you to make 10x profit. As long as you can sustain it and allow you to continue, so it's continuity and sustainability. Yeah, this is the one that when we work with small business right now, they get affected by this. These are the two key things we help them to achieve, continuity and sustainability. So therefore, if you have certain skill and you harness from maybe a few years back already, so right now it's strong. So the moment it's strong means that you're able to deliver value to people already. Let's say you have a consulting skill, right? So during pandemic, a lot of people need your skill, right? Yeah, then now you're okay, you're fine, right? So these are the one whenever you learn BaZi, yeah, the first part here, I always tell people you must know your weapon. So let me ask you right now, all of you here right now, do you know your weapon list or not? Your weapons inventory. Do you know that or not? Okay, some of you say yes, right? Okay, I think most of you here learned BaZi before. Yes, let me show you let me share with you the BaZi chart. Where's BaZi chart? On. Okay. Some of you don't know, don't worry. Yeah, so I'm going to share the screen. So if you look at this screen here, this is a BaZi chart, right? So all the weapon, yeah, we can summarize under, you can look into here. Yeah, this one. Yeah, you see where my mouse move? Okay, let me just draw it on the screen right now. Okay, this is the part, yeah, I'm talking about. All right, all these are weapon. This is what given to you from the start. Some of you are performers, some of you are friends, right? So the more, yeah, you see there's a percentage here. So the higher the percentage, the more powerful your weapon is. Yeah, it's 10x a weapon, right? So if you actually if zero means that you don't have it yet in your inventory, yeah, you might pick it up later, right? Remember we have a luck pillar as well, right? Yeah, the luck pillar is 10 every 10 year. 10 year also they have some new weapon available to you, right? So you can actually pick it up and then you train it up, right? So but every time, most of the time, we always ask people to develop the top three first, because the top three is the one that you already have, is already powerful, right? Is something that you have a strong affinity with it. Yeah, is something that you are born to do. So these are how we actually look at the chart to identify their perfect weapon. Yeah, this one I'm not going to explain each of these here, because this one you can actually read from the books, and then some of the notes that is on our website and our Facebook. So I just want you to know where to look for this, right? So why I want to tell this, because I want you to use BaZi in this way, rather than a fortune telling style. I know that a lot of people always ask the question, my BaZi chart, whether got good luck or not, what will happen to me, right? As if like they don't have any control of the destiny. But now I think I hope to get you to a point that you're able to ask the question like, how do I use my BaZi chart? Yeah, because whether you are a good user or not depends on one thing. Yeah, let me boils down to this one statement here. Are you using BaZi or BaZi using you? Well, this is a question you should ask yourself, right? Yeah, so let me ask you again. Are you using BaZi or you let the BaZi use you? Now, who is the one in control? Yeah. Type it on the chat box right now. Okay, some of you say you use the BaZi. Okay, very good, right? Yeah, I'm using BaZi. That's nice, right? So you're using BaZi, right? So let me tell you the difference here. If you let BaZi use you, it's like this, right? You look at the partner chart and then discover that there's a clash, and then you become depressed. Yeah, which means that you give the control to the partner chart. Actually, the clash is nothing; it's just a change. Yeah, but you already form up an image or a story that is must be bad for me. Then you become depressed, and then you always tell people, you know why I'm still struggling is because my partner chart have this. Yeah, the reason I'm lazy because I have a lot of earth elements in my chart. Yeah, so if you know some people like this, then they are actually let the partner control their life, right? Some people will ask a question, right? According to my partner, right? What should I do? That you also let your partner control you, right? So the way is not to ask because the partner doesn't tell you what you must do, right? So it's you the one decide what to do, and then you look at the partner chart, to see how can it support you, right? So if you're worried about destruction, all these things here, your left partner using you, right? You're afraid, you cannot sleep until you find a meaning. Even someone tell you about a meaning, you also get worried. Must be something wrong, right? Because it's a clash, it's a destruction, it's a punishment, right? So I met a lot of people like this. Their mind is always come the moment they come to ask me question. They always ask this type of question, right? What's the clash mean? Yeah, death and emptiness. They get worried, right? Of course, I still answer them, but I deep in the mind, I try to get them to a state that instead of let the partner control you, make you sad, because the whole purpose of partner is to make you happy, to get you inspired to pursue your dream, right? But a lot of people doesn't aware of that. They let the partner make them even more depressed, right? So they always figure out all the punishment clash, and then they make themselves sad, and they spend the whole life trying to find the answer. And after so many years wasted, then they realize that, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's too late. Yeah, so many years been passed, it's too late for this person to turn around to their destiny already, right? So that is what I try to actually tell everyone here. So instead of let the partner control you, you control the partner, which means that now you say, I want to actually create a business, or maybe I want to start something, right? So I want to see the chart. How can the partner chart support me of doing it, right? Where is the noble people, right? What is the strength that I can capitalize on my chart? Is there any help from the outside or not? Yeah, I look at that aspect. Then I look at my luck pillar. What type of opportunity available to me, right? Do you see a difference here, right? So therefore, if you able to switch this part here, then then partner can serve you. Right? If you are the owner, you are the one control it, then the more you use it, the more happier you are, right? Because all metaphysics systems supposed to give you more freedom, not to restrict your freedom. Yes, freedom not necessarily mean physically, it could mean your mental freedom, right? Have you met? I'm sure that you meet a lot of people, right? They're so worried about their partner, and then they keep asking everyone, different people, but the same question, right? Because no matter how many times they ask this question, they will not get satisfied, right? So they continue to go into this, downward spiral, until a point that they feel really depressed. Yeah, we don't like that. Okay, so I've been there as well, right? Because when you start learn partner, then I look at the bad thing, Let me tell you, right? If you find it hard enough, everyone chart sure you got a clash, right? Who want to bet with me here? I don't care who chart you are looking at. If you focus, if you look the whole chart, you run it through, I'm sure that you'll find something bad in the chart. Don't you think so? There'll be a destruction, there'll be a clash, there'll be a death and emptiness somewhere. There's so many things you can actually look from the chart. Anyone. Just give me any chart. I can tell you a sad story about the chart. What is so bad about the chart? Any chart I'm talking about. Right? So, but the thing here is, it's very easy to focus on negative thing, right? But the same chart, if I choose to look at the good things, there are also a lot, right? That's why I always make a joke with a lot of people. I tell them, I ask them to list down all the things that they don't like about their spouse, right? They're going to list a lot one, right? Until a whole day also cannot finish. But if I ask them to think about what is a good thing about your spouse, then they need to think for a while before they're able to come up with the answer, right? Because we are trained that way, right? So I would say that in order to use the chart better, the first thing here is to actually ask yourself, what is a good thing about your chart? right? That's the first thing about this pandemic. Because this pandemic here, a lot of people worried about the uncertainty, right? Whether the economy is bad, right? We're getting worried. We always see the bad thing, yeah, about in the future, right? So then you look at your own parts again, you see clash, you even more depressed, right? So even like now everyone are fearful. Then you look at the chart, you look at all the bad thing, even more depressed. So means that the parts cannot help you. Yeah, it's better off that you don't even read the parts in the first place. It's much more better, right? So now since you know this concept here, so I want you to look at what is so good in your chart. Yeah. So would you tell yourself, how I will ask yourself a question: how come I have such a beautiful chart? Why not we start with this practice here, right? Look at your own chart right now, and then ask yourself, how come I blessed with such a beautiful chart? Even you don't know what is so beautiful yet, look at it first, right? Because whenever your focus in, that's where the energy flow, right? So that's what it works. So everyone chart, like you give me any chart you want, I can make the chart become worse. I also can make the chart become good. Why? Because it depends on where I focus on, right? So if let's say I ask you to give me a chart right now, I can make you totally depressed by telling you all the bad thing. Yeah, but at the same time, I can tell you all the good things. You feel like invincible. You feel like the Incredible Hulk in Avengers, so powerful, right? So it's just matter of this switching method. So when you do consult, we actually need to shift them from the downward spiral into the upward spiral. Yeah, this is the first thing you must learn when you want to thrive in the new normal, right? Even before look at the Barter chart. Otherwise, if I just start with actually ask you to look at the Barter chart, the more bad things you see, even more worse, you yourself become the pandemic, right? So we don't want that, right? So now I hope that my explanation here give you a right concept. How do you actually tackle your Barter chart? Now, so once you know this, then we can actually look at what is are you guys okay now? How is your energy level right now? Is it good? Do you agree that your Barter chart is beautiful or not? Yeah, if you agree, you like your Barter chart, you fall in love with your Barter chart, type the word yes. Okay, our energy high. Okay, I want you to put a frame, on of your Barter chart, and then you stick it at the wall. Yeah, you look at it every single day. How come I got such a great chart? I did nothing good in my life, but yet I blessed with a great chart. Yeah. So then only, right, you can make your destiny become good. Okay, so now you know this, right? So then now we are ready. We are in the right mindset to actually look at the chart. Yeah, then we are willing to take action. So I like Rimbun say what? Yes, I love my BZAC. Okay, yeah. So if next time just suddenly there's an idea come to me, right? Maybe next time we get a printed T-shirt say that I love my Barter chart. Don't you think so? Yeah, print on our T-shirt. The word here is called I love my Barter chart. Because I went to New York, a lot of people like to wear the T-shirt I love New York, right? So I think why not we also print another one that say I love my Barter chart, right? The more you do this, right, then you every time you look at your Barter chart, wow, so beautiful, like you're appreciating a good scenery, right? It's a pictorial format here, right? So this is good. So once you know that, now you're okay, your level is high. So let me share with you first, what is the Barter chart for this year, right? You need to know the energy because now we're talking about this year, right? So this warrants us to actually look at the Barter chart for 2020. So let me show you on the screen right now. Okay, all right. So do you see it on the screen right now? Yeah, this is not your Barter chart. Just in case some of you might mistaken this is your Barter chart. This is annual for the year of 2020 Barter chart here. So is, let's say you're talking about, because why you want to know this is because we want to actually know what type of energy here, so we can actually prepare a right strategy to handle this, right? That's the first thing. Because this year is I think a lot of so-called not so normal thing happening, right? So we need to study the chart thoroughly. Yeah, because whereby as normal, we can just have a no overview, roughly what is it, then we are fine, right? But since this year, there are so many things happening, right? So it's warrant us to actually study in deep dive, what is actually contained within the chart that we can take action. So if you look at the chart right now, yeah, so let me just show you this. I draw something here first. If you look at the chart right now, one thing I want to point here is the whole chart here, earth element. You see an earth element here. Don't you think is a lot of earth elements in the chart? Right. So there's one here, there's one, of course, right? There's a lot of earth element in the chart. Right. So the moment, yeah, you learn BaZi, you learn Chinese metaphysics, earth element represent what? Represents stability. Right? Represents stability, also represent comfort, also represents slow, also represents stagnation because it doesn't move. Yeah, it's the comfort zone. So therefore, this year the overall sentiment, yeah, of the whole, I would say this because this chart is represent the whole world. The general sentiment of citizens in the whole world, basically they feel what? They feel stuck. Right, so feel stuck, and then they become they also feel pessimistic because earth element doesn't move, right? So what they do, they look at each other. Yeah, if you don't move, then I don't move. Yeah, so they're very fearful. They try to actually remain where they are, so they are not moving. They do things slow. They are too careful. Okay, so let me ask you, if you want to thrive, on this kind of situation, what would you do? Tell me. If everyone are pulling the brake, and then they're going slow, what you should do? Right, you should going fast, right? Because whenever everyone is fearful, right, you need to what? Yeah, you need to actually move forward, right? So the key to actually thrive in this kind of period here, is to actually become move faster, act now, short term, right? Don't care about strategy. Strategy is long term. Yeah, talking about grab the actually low hanging fruits first, take action. Yeah, because even your competitor are fearful. If you just move faster, sometimes just slightly faster, right? Then you actually can actually move ahead from the competition, right? So this is the one key thing in the chart that we would like to look at. The earth element is strong. So if you want to write down the keyword here is speed to market. Yeah, is very, very good. Yeah, so it's something that you must adopt on whatever you do. Right, like one of my I told you just now, one of my friend who is doing insurance, I asked him to, since that a lot of people are fearful to buy the policy from you right now, then sell some more low end policy first. Sell first, take action first, grab it. You might not earn a lot of money right now, but do it first. Yeah, so when my friend actually listened to the advice and then he do it, now suddenly got a lot of sales coming in. Yeah, although it's small sales, right? But he take action first. Yeah, because all the competitor that think that, the thing is not working out. Not a lot of people not willing to spend money. But my friend actually sell a more cheaper, a more smaller policy, and then he get a lot. Then I tell him, don't worry, because when the pandemic over, since they buy from you first, then later on, if they want to upgrade, of course they're going to look for you. Yeah, so your job here is to serve them. Yeah, so this is the thing here, right? So normally this type of chart here, if you want to give advice to others or even to yourself, this is not a year of for thinking. There are some year is a great year for you to plan. For long term, reflection. What is my life purpose? Everything. That one you leave it for next year. Yeah, this year is all about action, right? So if you want to understand this message more, it's very easy, right? You go to Nike website, you look at their slogan. Yeah, what is Nike slogan? Nike? Type it in the chat box right now. What is Nike slogan? Yeah, what is their tagline? Yes, just do it. Yeah, this year is like that. Yeah, this year the intelligent group of people will not win this year. Yeah, which in fact the winner of this year for 2020 is those person that is not so intelligent. Yeah, so because since they are not very intelligent, they cannot see something that is not possible. To them, everything is possible. Yeah, so they just do it, and somehow they see results, and then they continue to do it. They capitalize on opportunity. Yeah, then they become better, right? So if this year, if your chart got a lot of intelligent star, it might not be very good for you. That's the thing, right? It doesn't serve you well, because intelligent people will think, what if I'm doing this wrong? They always come up with 10 possibility of how this thing could go wrong for them. But therefore, those people that lack of that element, they're already taking action, they already reap the rewards. So you ask me, this year is a year for those people that don't think a lot, but that keep taking action. They are the winner for this year. Okay, so this is the earth element. There's a lot more to actually you look at the chart. So let me, this is the first point that I want to actually share with you. Because this is very, very important. No matter what you do right now, I think what business you're doing, this part is very, very important. Because the chart this year, let me ask you, this year is what is the year? What is the animal sign of this year? Type in the chat box right now. What is the animal sign for this year? Red, right? So red is okay. I know a lot of you here typing red here, metal red, right? So red, don't you think is a water element, right? Red is a water element, right? So water element, is this water strong or not? Very strong. Why? Because it's a metal red, right? So metal red since it's a water, so don't you think it's metal and water together? Right? So metal always produce water. Therefore, water is very strong this year. So the moment water is strong, or if it's too strong, then one thing, it will trigger a lot of fearful emotion. Right? So therefore, this year, a lot of people are fearful. So the thing here is not everyone, right? Some of people, they are very fearful, but another group of people here, they actually, even though they are a little bit fearful, but they still take action, right? So then how do you do that? Then we actually look at the chart, right? Whether your own chart, whether you are actually affected by this fear emotion or not, from the year animal sign, right? Because the year animal sign talking about the energy, right? So energy element, water and metal governs fear, governs anxiety. These are the part here. So, and I think at this stage, I don't need to explain that this one is not the real water, right? Right. I because I few days back, someone told me that actually this year, because his chart had too much water, and then he tried to drink less water, so he will not become fearful. So, and this is totally bullshit, right? I think that I think all of you here, you already have some training with us. You won't think that way, right? Just in case, right? To tell you, it's not about drink less water, it's nothing to do with that. This water element is an energy. Okay. All right. So now, how do you know that this one will affect you more compared to others? And this is the element I want you to check on your party chart. Okay, let me see how can I do this for you. Okay, all right. So I'm sharing my screen right now. Okay, so do you see it here right now? So these are the animal sign. So I want you to check your chart. Do you have pig, ox, rat, monkey, or dragon in your natal chart or not? So you check your chart, have or not? At least two of this element. Because all these animal signs here have the water nature inside, the water energy inside. So I want to check your chart right now. Look at your natal chart of your partner. There are 4 pillars, right? Year, month, day, and hour. So do you have more than one? Any of these 5 or not? If you have 2, you got 1 potential, right? This year, you might actually have more fear emotion compared to other years. right? Because this year already a red year, right? So if your chart already have 2, is also a water element, right? So then you'll be fearful. Some of you say you don't have at all. Okay, it's fine. All right. So and if you have 2, yeah, then this one you might become more fearful than other people. Yeah. So then what does it mean? Yeah, it just means that this year, you if you are fearful, most of the time you are not willing to take action, right? Because you always, whenever someone is fearful, which means that they always see the negative side of things, right? So they always see all the worst possible scenario. So then, therefore, they might not able to maximize their potential. Okay. All right. So where are we just now? We are talking about this water element, right? So this water element is an element. If it's not a bad, first of all, yeah, water element is not bad, right? It's only when it's because water element represent thinking. So the moment you have a lot of water element, you think too much. Whenever someone think too much, so and then one thing will happen, right? They'll all start to think on the bad side, right? Because if you think something long enough, right, you always go to where you think all the possible thing could happen, right? So therefore, the moment you have too much water, then there'll be an issue here. So and just like my workspace here, I always like to print a word, and then I actually stick on my wall, on my desk or somewhere. So one of the favorite thing here is I know a lot of people like to look at motivational quotes, right? Right, and then they stick on the wall or something, remind them, right? So for me, I didn't. My style here, I don't print motivational quote. Because why? You know why? Because sometimes when you see a motivation, all those motivation quote here, and then you might get inspired, right, for a while, right? Wow, this is true. Yeah, this is so true. But if you see it every single day, right? If you see it every single day, it somehow is lost its potency, right? Have you guys had this feeling? If you go to so many like motivational seminars, right? You read so much motivational book, and even on Instagram, we see a lot of people post all this positive message. Do you think in the point it become a cliche? It doesn't have you immune to it already. How many of you here have this kind of feeling? Right? If you read too much, right? You'll be bored. Even the most even that quote here actually inspired you a lot, that changed the way you think totally at one time. But if you see it every day, it lost its power, right? And then what you do, you addicted to it, you search for more, right? You look for another one, right? And then you feel good for a while, then look for another one. This is what we call a motivational quote addict. Yeah, you addicted to it, right? So for me, I last time I used to stick all this motivational quote to inspire me, because last time I'm a really, really lazy person, right? So I all this motivational quote, but after I do that for quite some time, I discovered that part is not working, right? Because like I say, cliche, right? Then how do I do that? So right now, what I'm doing here is I still print words, but the word here is neutral. It doesn't motivate me, but it also at the same time also doesn't make me depressed, right? So I'm looking at my wall on that here. This is what I stick there. One of the word I put there is just hard work. Then I print it out, I stick there, just hard work, the word. Then have another one. You say it's very simple one. Don't complicated things. That's it. Nothing motivational about it, but it's also nothing depressing about it. It's just a statement. Yeah, that one works well for me. Yeah, so if you're water, I think the word just now, don't complicated things, it will be very beneficial for you, because water like to complicate stuff. So and if you look at this, if you have a lot of water here, you can actually do that, right? So if you actually do, it's not a motivational one, it's a statement, it'll be very useful to you. It's just a reminder for you what is the value that or virtual, that you actually you stand by it, and then you work towards it. Yeah, so I just print a word hard work in an A4 paper, I stick on my wall. Another one, I say don't complicated things, I stick there. Right? So a lot of time, we get our mind, sometime whenever they work on overdrive mode, they try to complicate things, and then in the end we are not happy, right? So a lot of shit here. This is water element. So now, since water element, like some of you actually saying that you have a lot of water element, That means fear, right? So what is the antidote to fear? Yeah, what is the antidote to fear? Kiss. Kiss means kid is simple, right? Okay, good. I thought your kiss is the antidote to fear. It could be, yeah, if you kiss your spouse, maybe your spouse is less fearful, hopefully. Okay, some of you say courage. Okay, good. Confident. Okay, faith. All right. Okay, so all of you have your own thing, right? So all of you here also have your own version. How do you address fear, which is good. So for me, how do I address my fear? Is one. I follow one very simple principle here. Is preparation, right? If you are prepared, then you are not fearful. Don't you think so? Right? A lot of time, if you already prepared, you already learned everything, you already practice it, yeah, you already analyze all the possible scenario, then you're not fearful because you know exactly what are you dealing with, right? So I know that some of my friends actually they are very afraid of ghosts. Every time we switch off the light, and then he become very fearful. Yeah, some of the people like that, right? Why people afraid of ghosts? Yeah, because they don't know what is this ghost is, right? They don't know their limitation. They don't know whether they can pass through the wall or not, right? Some of the ghosts got special power. They don't know whether these ghosts are powerful or not because we don't have idea how powerful is a ghost is, what is their weakness, how can we kill them, right? So therefore, the moment we are not prepared, which means that we don't know anything about them, we become fearful. Yeah, what if you know exactly what is a ghost is? You know how to kill them. You know how they works, how their mind works. So it's no longer become mysterious, right? Therefore, you don't fear anymore. You get what I mean here? So this thing apply to everything as well, right? So in the pandemic right now, if you are get prepared, right? If you get prepared, you know what is happening, you know the stages, what to do, so then you are less fearful, right? So it's not about just telling yourself, I'm not fearful, that one even more fearful, right? Have you figured some people, right? They say that, don't be afraid, then you become even more afraid, right? So the thing here is to get prepared, right? So how do you get prepared? I think the first thing here is in order to get prepared, we use Chinese metaphysics of the BaZi. Is one thing I want to share with you here is the power of anticipation, right? So if you're able to anticipate, right? So if you're able to anticipate what likelihood will happen, don't you think you are more calm, you're more peaceful because now you know what you are dealing with? Right? So this is the part that BaZi actually can help you to do it, right? The power of anticipation. Yeah, you can actually look ahead to know what type of potential issues or opportunity available to you, right? If you know it, you get prepared, then you're not fearful. Okay, so that's the first one here. Let me show you on the screen right now on this. Okay, there you go. Yeah, the power of anticipation, right? You want to know, what is the likelihood things you actually happening to you. So this year, one very, very interesting animal sign for this year, what I call a breakthrough animal sign. Yeah, the element of breakthrough is the horse. So how many of you have the horse in your natal chart? Type the word me. Horse animal sign. Okay, some of you got two, some of you got one, right? Yeah, so as you know that this year, if you want to plan better, you want to plan better. So because the more you can plan, you can prepare, then become less fearful to you, right? So, okay, so first of all, a lot of people worry about the word clash, right? Because a horse will clash with the rat. Since this year is a year of rat, then it clash with the horse, right? So every time you see a clash, represent some change will happen, right? So some of you have two, then more change will happen. If you have four, it's a very drastic change for you, right? So there's always an intensity of the clash. So let me just tell you, what does it mean, right? So there are four pillars of it: year, month, day, and hour. So if you have it, means one thing first. Yeah, change we're going to happen, right? So there are only two possibility here. Either you prepared for a change or you're not prepared, right? So the reason you learn Pazi is because you want to be prepared for it, right? So therefore you learn Pazi, right? So the horse here, the moment there's a clash, like I mentioned just now, is about changes. But if you want to know more detail about the changes, right, then you actually look at the where the horse located, right? Where's the horse located? So it could be located in the year, it could be located in a month, it could be located at the day or the hour, right? There are four possible location, right? So what if the horse is located in the year, right? So if it located in the year is represent the economy. So which means that the industry that you're working or the consumer behavior on the industry that you're serving are start to change, right? So these are the part that actually you need to look for, yeah, in the year pillar, right? So which means if you're a business owner, yeah, this one will even become more important to you because the consumer, the way they buy something will be different. For example, like maybe they used to actually buy things from grocery store. Right now, they already changed, to order online, and your business doesn't have online platform, then that would be a problem, right? So if there's a clash in the year, I want you to pay attention and do more research on what is happening to your industry. Yeah, the economic climate are changing. Yeah, because what used to work last time now is no longer working anymore. Yeah, that one is a year. So and this is very important. So what if you are not a business owner? Yeah, you're your employee, and the moment you see this, then this basically means that the job demand of your skill, will change again, right? Do you realize that a lot of the job that we're having right now will be obsolete in 10 years time due to technology? Don't you think so? Right, a lot of job that we have right now doesn't exist 10 years ago, right? Yeah, you see a lot of things, right? Yeah, like data scientists and then big data, artificial intelligence, so all these things are keep changing. So you're having a clash in a year, you need to pay attention to that part. Is the market demand already changed or not, right? Is your skill is still relevant or not on that scope from the economy perspective, so that is the year, right? Therefore this is something that are very, very important. So for the second one here, if your horse, right? If your horse is actually appears on the month, right? So the month talking about one thing, yeah, your work, your job or your business model, yeah, you might need to look into it. Yeah, this is not economy. This is something you do, your work, your skill, right? So your business model might need to change. It's changing, right? So for example, like the way you used to do something, right now it will not longer to work anymore right now. Yeah, so basically it mean like this. If you are let's say you are a Pazi consultant, right? Yeah, so you always use one-on-one coaching, right? You meet client, but right now the pandemic come, people prefer to do it online. They want a webinar, right? So you must change your style of working. Yeah, you need to change it because the month represent your skill or the thing that you are doing. You can control. The year you cannot control. You only can observe, and then you change it, and then you just adapt to it the year, because the year talking about the economy, the climate of the economy. But on the month is something that you do, that it could be your business, it could be your skill, so you need to actually look into it, to see how can I improve on that part. Okay, because there'll be a change on that area. And then the third thing here, if it's on the day represent your habit, right? Because it's a day pillar, right? Day pillar represents your habit. So which means that this year is a great year for you to unlearn some bad habit, right? Let go some of the bad habit. Yeah, this is a Patricia says, right? There's a clash means there's a change. So therefore, unlearn some bad habit, right? It could be smoking, or maybe you're sleeping right late at night, so you can unlearn it, yeah, because it's clash with your day. And if it's clash with, finally, if it clash with the hour represent belief system, right? What you think is true. So how many of you here think that men cannot be trusted? A lot of people think like that, right? Yeah, especially some of my female friends. They always tell me, yeah, we cannot trust a man. Is it true? Right? This is not true, right? It's an opinion. It's not a fact, right? So therefore, if you clash on the hour, right? So if you clash on the hour, this is a great year actually for you to re-examine your habit, what is working, what is not working, and then you want to uninstall your belief system, right? So how do you know your belief system? Right? How do you know your belief system? It's very easy. If I ask you, you fill in the blanks here. Life is what? Right? Life is. Some people say life is beautiful. Some people say life is a war. Some people say life is a miracle. So what is your take on this? Yeah, type it on the chat box right now. Life is, or some people say life is great, right? Yeah, that's represent what? Represent a belief system about life. Right? So some people say life is interesting. Yeah, some say life is a war, right? That one is a bit hard, Life is beautiful, good. Oh, so all of you here actually is some of you say life is simple, life is a journey, very good. Yeah, so I actually asked this question to my friend as well. Some of them I get very funny answer back. Yeah, so I say life is complicated, Yeah, so some of them say that your life is a hell, So some people they're right. That somehow is the way they think, right? So if someone that is very negative, they think that the whole life is unfair. Some of them says that life is unfair, so it's not fair, So the moment they think like that, then there are even more so-called unfair event happen to them, right? Because you already think like that, you have emit certain frequency, and then you attract the same frequency of event comes to you, right? So if there's a clash in the hour, so this is a year that you need to actually do what, right? For this crisis here, this is a time that you see a lot of event that will actually trigger you to rethink back on what is your belief system is, right? Because our belief system keep changing all the time, right? Yeah, as long as our experience grows, we meet different people, our experience change, right? So how many of you here think life is a gift? Some of you think about that as well, right? So if you are clash in the hour, so which means that this year is a year that you can actually decide, what are the belief system you have, which one's serving you, which one is not, and then you want to let go those that is not. How do you know that which belief system doesn't serve you? The moment that belief system make you more depressed, or make you more sad, or actually deplete your energy level, that one will no longer serve you anymore, right? So, and again, let me tell one thing, right? This is the thing I always share with people. Your belief system no need to be a fact one, you don't need to be true one, right? You don't need to be, right? As long your belief system actually can boost your mood up, make you happy, increase your energy, then it's a good belief system. Yeah, let me give you an example here. One of my friend, physically she is not attractive. Yeah, far from attractive. But her belief system, she thinks she is attractive. Have you met someone like this? Right? So, and because she think like that, is her belief system is true or not? No, it's not true. Right? Ask that all my friends say, no way, she can be pretty, right? Not even in 1,000 years. But she has a very unique belief system, right? She thinks she's beautiful, so she feel confident, right? So the way she walk, her body language, the way she talk, the way she carry herself is what a beautiful woman would do. She will do it. And the interesting part is, I realized that a lot of guys actually attracted to her. Right? So this is the part that I still cannot figure out what is the main reason right now. I say, yeah, who am I kidding, right? So how come it's like that, right? So, and even some of my friends' girlfriends that are quite pretty, they ask me, Iverson, how come this girl, doesn't is not pretty? How come you still attract so many guys that attracted to this to her? So I also tell my answer is beat me. I also don't know the answer. Right? So it could be maybe it's their belief system, right, that carry out the energy. It could be, right? So therefore, I want to tell you that your belief system you choose to install might not be the truth, or it might not be the facts, but if able to make you happier and actually increase your energy, then it's a good belief system. Everyone clear? Right. So this is the part that I actually learned. A lot of people think belief system must be true, right? Actually, it's not. It don't need to be factual. And the good thing here is you can redesign your belief system to support you, right? And then if you have it in the hour, then it'll be good. So do you have it in an hour or not? Right? So this is a year to do it. Yeah. So clash is like this. If you don't prepare to change it, certain event will come to change because it's a clash year. For example, like if you have a clash in the month, what is the month signify if a clash in the month? Change of job role, change of business model, right? If you don't initiate the change, let's say you don't learn new things, you don't offer to do more, you don't actually evolve yourself on doing the thing, you are not becoming better on your craft, then somehow certain event could happen. It could be a retrenchment exercise, or you're reporting to a new boss who doesn't like you, and then he think you're useless, and therefore there are some, some tension between you and him, and then later on you decided to resign or you asked to leave. Then that also a clash. So which one you want to be? Are you want to be prepared and take advantage of the clash by clash it first, by make the changes first, or you wait for event to do it for you? Right? Of course, we want to make the change first, right? Because the moment we make our change means that we are in control. We are the one decide how the clash would be. So therefore, every time you see a clash, I would say that you clash yourself first. You don't make the changes first. Yeah, that's the one of the reason here you want to learn BaZi, correct or not? Right? So this is the part I'm talking about, this clash here. So therefore, this year, if you have the horse, this year there are a lot of uncertainty, right? If you have a horse, means there's a clash. So which means that every time you have a clash, it also represents courage. Because this year, somehow, you have the reason that push you to change. Yeah, there's another interpretation of a clash, right? A lot of people are afraid of clash, right? Clash also represents courage. Have you met someone, maybe your colleague, keep telling you that he want to resign for so many years, but after a decade, he's still there? Have you met someone like this? Right? They keep telling you, I want to resign, already type the resignation letter, I'm going to hand to the HR department next week, all these things. But after 10 years hearing all this nonsense, he's still there. Right? Some people are like that. They keep talking only, right? They have no courage. But the moment they hit the clash here, then he might actually resign. Right? So maybe finally he say, I cannot take it anymore. Right? And then, or maybe certain event that push him to do so, then they actually, that is the last straw already, so that is what the clash means. So if you have a clash, make use of it, because this year you have 100% courage to make a change for you. If you don't do it, intentionally, certain event or certain thing will somehow trigger you or force you to do it. So we don't like that, right? So if you want to thrive, you need to actually the one that actually in control. Remember, we talk about control, right? So this is the one that we are dealing with here right now. So do you see a different perspective about the clash right now? Right? It's much more it's less scarier, right? Yeah. So if you have a horse, you don't clash, how many years you need to wait again? Tell me. How many years you need to wait again? Another 12 years, right? So probably that time is a bit too late for you to make a change, right? So appreciate the clash, right? Because it doesn't, while stock lasts. Yeah, while it lasts, because next year is a year of ox already, right? Yeah, then it's no longer clash with you. Okay, so now this is the part here. All right, so once you know this, this is for you to have horse. Yeah, so just now I'm talking about anticipation, because when you're fearful on this pandemic, I think the first thing here is you need to get prepared. You need to anticipate. So BaZi, there are so many ways to see probable event, right? So I just share with you one of it. It's clash. It could be harm, it could be destruction, right? It could be punishment, right? It could be a clash with the luck pillar. There's so many of it, right? So of course, I cannot go through everything in this webinar here, but I think you get the gist of it, right? So do you realize that every time I share with you something, I teach you how to use it, yeah, rather than accepting the fact there's a clash and then you actually beat yourself up and then hopefully you pray your clash will be over. It's not about that, right? So if you know how to use BaZi, you want to make sure every year also a great year for you because you know how to use it. Yeah, you can turn a dead fish to become alive again. So that is the whole goal of you to learn BaZi here. So the next one, right? So the next one here, I think is important. The first one, we're talking about power of anticipation. The second one here is the power of proximity, right? Why is proximity is because proximity means that who you spend time with is who you become. Don't you agree? Right? You just think about the 5 person that you spend most of your time with, and you actually add up of them, divide by 5, that is who you become, right? Because who you actually surrounded yourself with, is who you become. So, and this is very important, because a lot of time we keep focusing on our own BaZi, right? We look at our own chart. But when you actually have a group of people together, and then you talk to them, don't you think they also influence you in some way? So you actually can tap to their greatness of their BaZi chart as well. If you always mix with winners, don't you think you become winners as well? Right? So because they think differently, the moment you talk to them, you see how they make decisions, you see how they lead their life, then you will also get influenced to it. Let's say you want to play tennis. You want to play with the best person in the court, or you want to play with the beginner or the most lousy player. Who you want to play with? Of course, when you play with the most lousiest player, you can win. You feel good, right? Wow, you feel that you're great, but that is the lousiest player. But if you play with the great player, of course, you feel worse. You feel bad at the first time, right? Because you don't like losing, and then this guy actually humiliate you. You can't even return the serving, right? So the thing here is, but if you practice it continuously with him, with the champion, you see how they practice, how they play the game, you will become better as well. Don't you think so? Right? So therefore, the first part is about anticipation. The second part is about proximity. Who are you surrounding yourself with? So I want you to consciously think about this. Who are you mixed with most of the time? Right? So if all those people that you mix with most of the time is not helping you, and then that doesn't believe in you, they keep pulling you down, it's a time to rethink, again, who you should actually mix with. Okay. So for this year, right? So now it's a pandemic and lockdown and all those things, right? So it's a great time to build connection, right? Build connection with the right people, with the right client, to those people that you respect, right? So you foster that connection, and then later on, you can actually tap to their resources and you become better, right? Or maybe they have something or business opportunities that you can actually tap into as well. Don't you think this is important, right? Because when we learn BaZi, we might overlook on this part because we always focusing on ourselves. We keep asking what is my chart is, what is the clash means in my chart, right? Everything is about us, right? But sometimes to become better, you might not need your own chart one, You just need to pick the right chart of other people to make friends with. That is a secret, right? So sometimes it's not about, look at your chart, become better. Yeah, so probably you can imagine that you spend your time not about your chart, and then you start to actually connecting to other people that have a great chart. That one also one of the strategy, right? Because they have the great chart, you don't need to change anything. You just tap to them directly. Okay, so therefore, this proximity here for this year, let me share with you. Some of you here have a great network opportunity this year, so I want you to capitalize on it. Yeah, let me show you which one that have a power of proximity this year. Okay, I'm going to show you on the screen right now. Okay, there you go. Yeah, these are the 3 animal signs. Okay, but this one got different rules of looking to this. These 3 animal signs is a networking animal sign for 2020, right? Since this lockdown, you need to actually connect to more people, to make friends, or help them, so you can actually get tap to the platform whenever they are ready to actually share with you. So but this one, ox, monkey, and dragon, you need to actually locate this in either only in two places, either is in the year pillar or the month pillar only. Because all networking is external, your day and hour is internal, so this is not relevant to it. So this one only if your year or month have either ox, monkey, or dragon. So this year your networking opportunity will be widened, and then you have more way to connect to people. So now I want to check on your own chart. Do you have this or not? So if you have it, say yes. If you don't have, just type the word no. Yeah, so we are not looking at luck pillar right now. We are just looking at the natal chart, right? So only the year, month, day, and hour. Okay, so a lot of you say yes. Some of you say no. Okay, so if you have it, right? If you have it, this year, during this lockdown or during this time here, decide to spend like probably 20 to 30% of your time, invest on making new friends. This year have opportunity. All right, so a lot of you also say no, right? So if you know, then what to do? So you need to find some people that have this animal sign in their chart, and then tap to their connection. Yeah, don't worry, right? Even you don't have, maybe your friend have this, or maybe someone have this, right? So this year connect to them. Since their chart they have this opportunity, you can actually leverage on them as a middleman to connect you to them, to all the rest of the people. Okay. All right. So some of you asked, how about love pillar? No, this one only applies on the year and the month only. Okay. All right. So everyone understand? This is very important. Okay. Let me show you the third one here. Okay. So the third one here is the power of creation, right? Just how we talk about the power of the first one is power of anticipation, and then the second one is the power of proximity, right? About people. And then the third one here is if you really don't have it, creation means that you need to do something about it, right? For this year, you have to thrive in the new normal. So are you guys ready? Right. So the third part here is the power of creation. Yeah, let me show the screen. Yeah, this is the one. Power of creation. Yeah, you want to make things happen. So do you want to learn this or not? Okay, if you want to learn this, type the word yes. So we shall continue. Okay. All right. So in order to do this, is very simple. Yeah. In this year, if you look at the chart, this year the rooster, right? The rooster actually form a destruction with the rat. Right? If you learn Bazi, a rooster actually form a destruction with a rat. So let me tell you what destruction means. Yeah, destructions means one thing. Yeah, it means that destroy the old and then give way to the new. Don't you think this is something that we are actually happening right now? Right, the old paradigm will be actually obsolete, and then we welcome the new world coming in. Right, so therefore this is a destruction kind of nature. So when you see a rat with a rooster, it will form something similar like this. So we call it new normal. Even you look at the annual Bazi chart, you see the hour also a rooster, right? So therefore, this year is about a year that destroying the old. Yeah, something new is coming in, right? So which is the new normal. So therefore, if I take this concept here and then I apply to the day master as a reference, though we can form certain strategy. So this is what I'm going to tell you right now. How do you thrive in this new normal here? Okay, so I think all of you here know your day master already, right? Yeah, you know what is your day master element, correct or not? So if you know your day master, yeah, type the word yes, so I know. Do you know where to look for your day master? Okay, maybe I ask who don't know. Yeah, type the word me if you don't know. So all say yes means that you know. Okay, I see one no here. Okay, never mind. I just do a quick one to share with you how do you actually get this day master. Then we can continue. Yeah, I saw some of you replied no. So let me share with you. Okay, I share my screen right now. So all you need to do is to plot your bar chart, right? So your bar chart here. So your day master is this one. This is your day master. Do you see it? I just draw a red circle here. This is your day master, right? So let me just clear this again. So if I draw it again, this side, one more time, this is your day master. How do you know? You look at the day here, there's a day. So this is your day master. So once you located this box here, so I want you to look at the element. So for this one, here indicate is a wood element. Do you see it? Of course, there's a yin wood, there's a yang wood, but now we don't care whether it's yin or yang, right? All we need to know here is which are the 5 elements you belong to. Clear, everyone? Right? So we disregard whether it's yin or yang. Right? For this information here, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I want all of you here to look at your element right now. So how many of you here is the element of wood element as your day master, right? If you are wood, then type the word me. Okay, all right. Yeah, so if you're wood, so one thing, yeah, you must do for this year, for 2020, for this new normal, yeah, because for wood this year is you need to actually actually have a new identity about yourself. Yeah, you need to actually see yourself in a different way, in a different light. Because this year, if you're wood, you might given a new responsibility or more work to do or more pressure, right? So there are 2 ways actually you can juggle this. One way you can say you are not capable, right? You are not good enough. Therefore, you actually shies away from responsibility. But if you are wood, this year you must develop a new, right? A new identity for yourself. I know a lot of people that think that, I'm not bright, I'm not good in doing business, right? So if you are wood and you think like that, this year what you need to do, destroy the old identity, develop a new identity. Identity means that how do you see yourself, right? This is very important one, Yeah, how do you see yourself will determine, what you're able to do. Right? So if I ask you, right, to describe yourself, fill in the blanks. I am what? Right? Some people say I am a great son. That's the one, right? So some people say I am a loser. Some people will actually describe themselves like that. So what is your identity, right? If you're wood element as your day, right? Because you're going to give a lot of things more than you can handle. If you don't change your identity, it's not about your capability. It's about how do you see yourself? What a human can do actually is really amazing one. But what they will do normally is tie back to their identity. Let me ask you, can all of you here, if you want to, right, you have the capability to murder someone or not? Of course, everyone have the ability to do it, right? But will you murder someone or not? No, right? Like all of us here, we are kind soul. We won't murder anyone, right? So why we don't do it? But are you capable of doing it if you want to? You can, but you won't do it, right? So what's stopping you? It's because your identity, right? The way you see yourself, I'm not a murderer, right? I don't do that stuff. So therefore, you need to be aware that what identity you give yourself will actually limit your ability one. Yeah, so if you're wood element, yeah, you must say that, I'm capable. I'm superwoman, right? I'm a superman, right? I can handle my stuff, right? I just need to learn more. I'm a sponge. I can absorb information. Okay. I deserve promotion. I deserve great things in my life. So your identity is changed. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, right? So if you see yourself as an entrepreneur, so you will think like one, right? So that part, if you're wood, this is the one you need to set your identity, right? So how do you see yourself? If you keep seeing yourself as someone that is a bad luck, then you might not able to tap to these wood opportunities here, because this year there's a lot of room for you to grow if you're wood. But the thing here is that for any time you have the opportunity to grow, it will not be easy, right? Because you need to push yourself to actually deliver the job and everything, so for you is new identity for wood, and then be adaptable, because the environment will change a lot for you. Okay, all right. So the second one here is fire. Yeah, how many of you here are fire? Fire, anyone? If you're fire, type the word me. Okay, you are fire, right? So fire is very simple. Fire this year here, if you're talking about thrive to make money, this year is about develop a new way of selling, right? Or to market yourself, right? Because selling is all about marketing, right? New way of selling something. So if your job, especially if you're doing with selling, a product or services, you need to learn a new way to sell something if you're fire. If you are not in the sales profession, you must learn a new way to market yourself. So for you to be seen, a new way to sell, or a new way to market, or a new way to package yourself. Okay, you might sell the same product, right? You might sell the same product, yeah, but you change the way of selling it. Yeah, so this is the fire element. Yeah, that's the key for you to actually create more opportunity for this year. So for those fire, one thing you must learn is what? You must ask yourself, what are the new way I can sell my product? Or maybe a new group of customer, it could be, right? Or maybe repackage your product and resell it. There's a new way of selling. Or maybe now you're doing webinar instead of actually face to face. Yeah, so something new must happen. Yeah, because the current situation requires you to actually do something new. This is what the destruction means. Right? I saw some of you just now ask, right? What's the destruction means? Yeah, I just told you, right? Destroy the old and then welcome something new already. Yeah, so that one is for fire. So, and then for earth, how many of you here is earth? Type the word me right now. How many earth? Earth element. Type the word me right now so I can see who you are. All the earth are day masters. Okay, so I see Kitsun. All right. Luis, Suyin. Okay. So your earth this year, yeah, you must harness one power, creativity. Yeah, because this year you must actually develop new product and new services. You must think, how can I offer a new services to others? Right. So, and if you are fire just now, fire is about new way of selling. They might not create a new products. Yeah. But if you are earth element, then you must create a new product and services. Right. So like one of my friend, he's a fitness trainer. Right. And then due to the lockdown, he actually cannot actually train others. So then he asked me, Iverson, how can I actually train people, because the gym are closed, it's closed up. Then he is a earth element, right? He's a yang earth, one of my friend, yang earth. And then I told him that why not, right? Why, since you're yang earth, this year is good for creation. Why not you can teach people, yeah, without the need to meet them. Yeah, then he puzzled a little bit. He say, how do you do that? Yeah, one of the way is maybe you can develop an app and then teach people how to do workout from home as step one. And after that, when the lockdown over, they can continue to phase number two, when you can train them on gym. Don't you think it's something you can do? Right? So first of all, you sell the workout from home package as stage 1, and then continue to stage 2 that need to actually train personally by you when the lockdown is over. So he actually took the advice, and then he developed an app, and then he sell the app. Yeah, so he is creating a new product. Yeah, do you see it here? Right. So if you are this one is your Earth is your day masters, yeah, be it a yang or yin, this is the one you must do. Okay, so that if your day master is a yang wood, sorry, yang, what I'm talking about, earth element, right? Either yang earth or yin earth. And what I shared with you just now is all for 2020 destruction, this new normal. Yeah, this doesn't apply for next year, right? Next year there will be a different strategy because the chart changed. Okay, this is not a permanent strategy. This is a short term, yeah, for the next 6 months. Yeah, remember just now our key here is to what? Yeah, to continuity, and sustainability, right? So this is a part we must actually make it happen first. All right, so how many have we gone through so far? Okay, someone asked, how did he create an app without a tech skill? Paid someone to do it? Yes, right? He paid someone to do it. It's not expensive, by the way. Yeah, it's very easy. A lot of ready-made app that you actually can purchase, and then you add your logo in, and then you upload your videos, then that's it. Okay, all right. So next one, how many we have gone through so far? We've gone through 3, right? So another 2. Okay, so do you enjoy so far? Do you like the information? Yeah, that I shared so far? Yeah, because I cannot see your face, I cannot see your reaction. Yeah, so I want to know, do you like this information or not? Do you find this useful? If you find useful, type the word yes. Okay, all right. Now, let's do another the remaining 2 here, right? So if you are, thank you. All right, cool. So let's do the another one here is the metal element, right? So how many of you here are metal element? Type the word me. Okay, all right. So many of you are metal element. So if you're metal element, yeah, so the key to thrive in 2020 for you is to actually form a new ally, basically a big connection, and tap to other people platform. Right? That is your goal for 2020. You look for whatever you want to do, you look at the market that have that platform, you leverage on them. Right? For example, like you want to sell something, right? So there are a lot of e-market platform you can do. Affiliate program could be one of it, or probably you have a friend that have a group of customer, then you offer yourself, give a free talk to their customer, so you tap to other people resources. Yeah, so if you're metal element, this year is about asking yourself one question: how do I leverage on other people's skills, resource, time, idea, or platform? All right, so this is the one you're going to ask, right? So which means that this year is you spend most of your time in connecting to others to get this done for you, right? Let's say you want an office. There could be someone out there, that have an empty office and he's not renting it out, and then he's willing to actually give it for you for free, for you to do your work, so and then maybe you can share some profit with him, so there are a lot of people like this. So if you're metal, this one is your game, this is your zone. You need to connect with them, because a lot of people platform you can actually tap into to serve your ultimate goal. Okay, so this is the metal for you. If all of you here are metal or day master, so the keyword here is new ally or new platform you want to tap into. Okay, find it. There are a lot of platform out there. Okay, so start with LinkedIn first, probably, right? So that's where you need to tap with it. And then finally is the water element. So water element is if you want to actually thrive here, so it's about you develop a new vision, a vision of what you want to do, and actually your success for this pandemic here is by acquiring new knowledge, right? So because you have the ability, once you acquire the knowledge, you have the ability to actually convert it into service or product where you can sell to others. So which means that the more knowledgeable you are for this year, yeah, the more opportunity you see, right? All the water element this year, they are very good in identifying right information, and they're able to convert it into a business model, right? Be it an online course or an app, whatever it is, they're able to do it, right? So, and then this year, water is the one that set the vision. Yeah, they are very clear, so they are very clear on where they want to be, or where they want to go. If your day master is water, so they some have a vision. Then if you share the vision, and then you tell people how to get there, that's where you attract a lot of opportunity coming in. Okay. Yeah, that's for you for the water person. So what I've gone through just now is all the 5-day master strategy for the next 60 days, right? For all of you here. Okay. So now let me share with you one thing here. When you look at BaZi, right? Just now we are all talking about about the natal chart, right? The day, the year pillar, month pillar, day pillar, and hour pillar, right? So and a lot of people just now also ask about the luck pillar, right? So what does it mean, the luck pillar? So let me share with you on my screen right now. If you're talking about the luck pillar, yeah, and what is the difference here is like this, right? So on the natal chart here, we look at preparation. Preparation means what? Your skill, your talent, right? So what you can do, your nature, right? What you can prepare yourself, to actually go out and get what you want. Yeah, this is who you are. Opportunity is the external world, right? So which means that sometimes doesn't matter how good you are or how talented you are. If you don't have opportunity or people not willing to give you opportunity, then you cannot become successful, right? So therefore, like the old saying, it says that success equals to preparation plus opportunity, right? So this is how it works on BaZi chart. So these two part is equally important, right? So the one part is the preparation, and then also the bottom part is opportunity, right? Once you are prepared, for example, like we spend our younger days on primary school and secondary school, and then leads to university. That part is what we are doing. There is we want to get prepared, right? Prepared for what? So we can make a living, when we become an adult, right? So therefore, we lead through preparation. When we go to the workforce or when you start your own business, then you need to bump with the opportunity, right? So if you want to look at what opportunity available to you, then you look at the luck pillar, right? So if you're able to see the BaZi chart, in this format, then you'll be very clear for you, right? When you want to look at the chart. Yeah. If you want to look at preparation, how you improve yourself, you look at the natal chart. Yeah. But where else, if you want to actually look for opportunity, what is upcoming, then you can look at the luck pillar. Everyone clear so far? Okay. So do you think BaZi interesting or not? It's very interesting, right, BaZi? Right. And then what we are touching here is just a tip of an iceberg, right? There are much more things to actually discuss, like death and emptiness, and then harm, and then the condition of the luck pillar, so many missing element, right? Combination, yeah, there's so many things here, right? So I hope that this session, a short webinar here, almost 2 hours here, to give you some, idea what you can prepare for now, right? So the whole thing here, the most important part of this whole session here, it doesn't happen now. It happened after this webinar is ended, right? Why we say so? Because the most important part is what you do after you attending this webinar. Do you take action on it, or you just say that, okay, I have a great time, and then you totally forget it and then resume back your usual life? So that part you need to decide. If not, you might keep attending a lot of webinar, and then in the end you might not see any changes, right? So if some of you here are interested, right, and you see the true benefit of this, I would say that during this pandemic, right, a lot of online programs are available, right? So one of it, if you ask me to recommend all of you here, what is the next step you can do if you're interested to actually want to learn how to make use of your BaZi to actually get you to the next level, I would like to actually recommend you to one of the program that my mentor, Dr. Joey, actually going to teach. Right? I think some of you are aware of this. This is what it's called BaZi Academy. Right? Usually this one we do it as a live class, and then but this time, due to the lockdown, and we actually understand that a lot of people are not able to travel. So Dr. Joey will personally teach the BaZi Academy program via online. Yeah, this is a live stream, right? So which means that you can actually, learn this right at the comfort at your own home, right? So if you're interested to learn from the master himself, Dr. Joey, then this would be the dates. This is a 3 days from 26 to 28 of June 2020, right? So this is the, if you're interested, then let me show you the investment price here. So normally when you want to attend this, you'll be actually USD 397. Actually in the live class is even more expensive. But due to pandemic, we conduct online class. Now we can actually bring down the cost, so because we no need to pay for the rent, the hall rental, and all the audio setting and all those things here. So we can actually pass back the saving to you. So instead of actually investing on a original price, because now we are still on the lockdown period right now, so you can actually get this special offer for the 3 days for only 197, right? So you can learn BaZi from the master himself, and then I'm sure, right, you will actually benefit a lot from the knowledge that you're going to learn from this 3 days program. Okay, so and then you think about this, right? Once this pandemic is over, then we're going to do live class, then you might not actually have this special price anymore, right? But now, I want you to take opportunity of the timing, because now we're going to do this online. So if you are interested, right, if you are interested to actually learn from the master himself, these are the link, right? You can click on the link on your webinar as well. There's a link pop up there on your right hand side. Just click on it, and then you fill up your details, and then to reserve your seats, right? So, and also there's a link display on the slide here as well, the bit.ly BaZi Academy 2020, or if you want, you can scan the QR code. Either way will lead you to the same page. Okay, or if you want easier for you, on your right hand side there's a link. Click on it, you'll go to there and fill your form, and we shall see you on 26 and 28 of June 2020. Okay, all right, so I hope you enjoyed this session here today. We spent almost 2 hours already, right? Times really flies, right? So I hope you enjoy the information, and I hope you find this useful, and don't let it stop, continue, right? Continue. And then anything in life that is important, is actually deserve to master it, right? Because it's so useful to you. So whatever you learn, right, I would say that just share with people, right? Share with people, help them. I think you become you can become better yourself, because the moment you teach people something, you also remember it, and you also can make difference on other people's life. Okay, all right. So I hope to see you guys again very soon. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. I'm Iverson. So I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you.